The last time I'll ever put my laps on the outside, and hopefully the same for you. So you're coming up to your Journeyman's exam and you run into this. So they're telling you that 38 millimeters will be your offset cutouts, and then you'll double that for the branches as bending it the other way. The material is twice the thickness, so is the cutout. I'm unsure of what two 38 millimeter cutouts make as an angle, so I'm going to make up the first angle and then use that as my template. They want 170 millimeters down to the first pivot point. Start from the big end, mark 170, and then mark it all around the rest of the downpipe. Pivot point's on the front side, cutout's going to be on the seam side. So mark a line from that pivot point across 38 millimeters. Then use a bevel gauge to get that angle and lock it in, because we'll use it over and over. Next up, you want to mark the angle the other way with your bevel. Square the terminations of those lines across the rear cutout side. Flip them over and do the other on the other side. The last thing you need to add to this is your laps. I'm adding about 12.5 millimeters to the downstream side angles. And now it's time to cut it all out. Then you've got to keep your laps on the outside, which you'll never ever do again. And then you've got to rivet, silicone it, and present it. Next key measurement is 245 millimeters from the back of the first offset to the wall. Mark your 245 off a square line, then square it up down 170 millimeters. You want to then add the thickness of your downpipe, and there's your pivot point. Right now I'm putting my downpipe the opposite direction so that I can line it up with my wall, and then I can mark out the rest of the layout of the downpipe reference in my image. And doing this will give you the remaining pivot points you need to get the job done. Next, I'll mark my second pivot point on the rear of the downpipe, and then I'll complete the exact same process I did the first time, though our bead side will be our pivot point this time. Once you've done this angle, you can line it up with your template. Mark your next pivot point. So for the first time now, your pivot point is on the smaller side and you'll be cutting out the larger side. So now we hit the 76 millimeter measurements. Remember guys, whether you're doing a box cutter or a downpipe, it's all the same processes. It's about getting your drawing right, mapping out your downpipe, making sure the measurements match the drawing that was provided to you. So basically guys, this is all about pivot points and understanding the way that things are going to bend and where you should be using your cutouts, because they've provided them to you. And lastly, before you go and hand in your finished product, you need to check your creation against the drawing provided. And providing you pass, you can say fuck off to external laps for the rest of your plumbing career. Shoot me a comment if you need clarifying on any of this.